General Chris Cavoli, commander of US Forces Europe, has outlined potential weapons systems for Ukraine to counter Russian aggression, although the Biden administration has not yet made a formal determination. This list includes air-to-ground missiles and secure communication systems currently employed by NATO. In an appendix to a classified report on Ukraine's strategy submitted to Congress last month, General Cavoli specified military capabilities the US might provide to enhance the combat effectiveness of Ukrainian forces. The proposed list includes air-launched cruise missiles and the Link 16 communications system, a US-NATO data-sharing network that facilitates effective communication between combat units, particularly in air defense command and control. Both systems are designated as priorities by Ukraine. Cavoli's list does not clarify the reasons for the delay in delivering these weapons systems. Some US officials express concern that sensitive technology might fall into Russian hands, which could postpone the provision of the Link 16 system. Additionally, the effective use of air-to-surface missiles would be challenging without Ukrainian control of its airspace. Nearly 3 years into the conflict, Ukraine continues to urge the US to supply more advanced weapons and lift restrictions on the usage of long-range missile systems. With the US presidential election approaching, the outlook for continued Washington support for Ukraine remains uncertain, despite commitments to provide necessary equipment through at least the end of 2025. The Ukrainian government is actively engaging in diplomatic outreach. When President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Joe Biden at the White House recently, he presented a detailed list of Russian targets that Ukraine seeks to strike with the US-supplied ATACMS long-range missile system. This list forms part of Zelensky's strategic victory plan aimed at gaining an advantage in the conflict. While Biden has been hesitant to permit Ukraine to utilize missiles against targets deep within Russia, he has not categorically dismissed Zelensky's proposal, and no specific commitments have been reached. The two leaders agreed to maintain dialogue on this matter. However, Biden does not plan to meet with Zelensky again in the near future after canceling a trip to Germany for a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. The likelihood of a shift in US policy regarding long-range missiles appears low, according to officials. US officials assert that they are providing whatever the Pentagon determines is necessary to assist Ukraine. They emphasize that given limited ATACMS supplies, these systems should be prioritized for strategic targets in Crimea. Additionally, Ukraine has successfully conducted multiple operations deep within Russian territory using domestically produced drones with superior range to ATACMS, inflicting significant damage on Russia's defense sector. Moreover, US officials note that Russia has relocated numerous critical targets beyond the 180-mile range of ATACMS. However, Ukraine maintains that many Russian military, manufacturing, and logistics facilities are within range and could serve as strategic objectives. To ensure the continuity of US security assistance, regardless of potential changes in leadership, allies are working to guarantee that Ukraine has sufficient resources until 2025. NATO has also established mechanisms for ongoing military aid and training. The Pentagon is negotiating with private US firms to secure contracts for equipment maintenance in Ukraine, aiming to prevent breakdowns at crucial moments. The US anticipates that 2025 could represent a pivotal shift in Russia's capacity to sustain its military campaign, as the country faces increasing depletion of resources and manpower in this prolonged conflict.